I said to you I was only going to be reading the one book this week, and I've already, well, changed that because I've actually started an ebook. And hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we're at the start of another weekly reading vlog, although this one technically isn't going to take place over a week because we're already starting it in the middle of the week. If you saw last week's vlog, you would know that I was off on holiday and that is why it overran a bit, but I am back home. I've got a couple more days off work before I need to go back. I'm back on the Sunday, so we have got a book that I plan on reading for this video. I think it's just going to be the one book this last half of the week that I really want to get done, and that is going to be a reread. So the reread for the month is Master of Sorrows by Justin Cool. This is a high fantasy that looks at the villain's origin story. I did enjoy this one when I read it. I think it was a couple of years ago now, but some of the finer details are kind of like they're disappearing. This is a book that I really want to reread so I can continue on because I actually own the second book, and I remember liking it but not being blown away by anything, but thinking to myself, I'm probably going to prefer this on reread. This is a book that in this world, they do not like magic. They're really against magic, but also people that are disabled in some way. However, our main character, Nymph, he is actually disabled. He doesn't have an arm. Like I think something happened to his arm, or he just wasn't born with the rest of his arm. And he has been living under this protection of this wizard who has been helping him kind of keep the fact that he's disabled secret in this world where that would be seen as a really bad thing. And so he's grown up in this position where he's a part of this kind of academy on the outskirts of this academy that's like, magic's really bad, we're training up people to find magic users and like kill them and stuff. He is alive because of a magic user, so he knows magic isn't necessarily bad, but in this book he wants nothing more than to become one of those skilled avatars, warrior thieves capable of infiltrating the most heavily guarded vault, and only the most determined are trusted to resist the law of magic. But to become one of these avatars you have to go through like these series of trials. There's a lot going on in this book. I'm really looking forward to rereading it, and I'm just really intrigued to see how this series is actually going to go. I don't think the third book is out yet, but I would really like to have reread this one so I can read the second one, because if I go into the second one now, I'm not going to have a clue what's going on. I can barely remember the characters, to be quite honest. Read that, and then hopefully we'll see when that third book's coming out and I'll just be a little bit more up to date with it all, because I am really intrigued by this, and I love the idea of following a villain, especially in this world, because I'm like, but the villain is not bad, and it just goes to show it's that lens of opinions. For these people that are like, magic's really bad, they don't see themselves as bad, they see themselves as upholding to this kind of rule that magic is really bad, so we're going to kill off magic users. But then obviously on the magic user side of things, well, they're not bad, they're not using their magic for anything bad, so it's always on what side you end up on that shows whether you're evil or not, and how the concept of what is a villain can sometimes be just as simple as what side of the line you stand on. I really like it when books explore that, so I just want to go back into this, reread it, see how I feel about it, and actually read that second book that's been sat on my TBR for ages. I think it's been sat on my TBR for like over a year now. I think I pricked it up pretty soon after reading this book, so it's been a while. We need to get back into this. You'll have to let me know if you've read this one. This is definitely a series that I feel like is a bit underrated. I don't see many people talking about this series. The reason why I picked it up is from Ashley from Frolic Through Fiction, although she hasn't really been doing much YouTube anymore. She loved this series when it came out. Justin Cool actually sent her a copy of the book, and she adored it so much that that's the reason why I picked it up. I'm intrigued to give this one a read, continue on, as I've said quite a few times. Ideally, I would like to get this one done by the end of this week, which, you know, is quite a bit considering we've only got Wednesday, 5 days, and this book is 576 pages long, so I need to be reading about 115 pages a day to get this one read in time. We're gonna see if that's possible, because the next few days I am still busy. As much as I'm back and I'm not at work, I do need to do things. I need to edit last week's vlog. I need to get that edited fully today and uploaded so it's on time for you. I also need to go get my cat because she's been at my mum's for the week, so I want to go get her. I'm going to be doing that as soon as I finish nattering on. Then I need to like do food shopping, do the tidying up and all the washing. A couple of things that I'm doing with my partner where it's, you know, we're busy. but we're gonna try and read this. I'm hoping because it's a reread, those 115 pages a day-ish will actually go a lot quicker than what I think it will, because it's a reread and I generally find rereads are quicker for me to read, because once you get back into it, you start remembering things. We're gonna see whether that works. The font is rather small. There's a lot of words to each page. We'll see. Well, you know, we have hope. We have a hope. If we can get this done, I'll be very pleased. And then we're on track for all of my reading plans for the month, which is amazing. But before I disappear, I did come home to some book mail. So let's have a look at that. This one was ripped. So it's book mail. So let's just continue ripping this off, I guess. Gift notes. Oh yes, Denise, thank you, Denise. So Denise actually messaged me to say that she was sending me a few things off of my wish list, which was absolutely lovely. It says, from one of your booktube subscribers, I absolutely love your 24-hour readathon videos, from Denise. Thank you. Oh, beautiful. Oh, they're all classics. They're part of the English Library Classics collection, which I love. I'm collecting the specific edition of classics. So we have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is a book I really love. I've only got the other edition though, which I don't absolutely like. But this is a really good book. It's about toxic, obsessive love. A really good book to read late autumn, beginning of winter time, in my opinion. Really enjoyed that. Nice gothic book. And then we have two Jane Austen books, Persuasion and Pride and Prejudice. Again, these are books that I have read, really enjoyed. Romance books. These are copies that I had in different editions, and I really want them all to match because I have the rest of the Jane Austen book in these editions, and I prefer it all to match. And thank you so much, Denise. That is so kind of you. You truly didn't have to, but I really, really appreciate it. I mean, these are my favorite editions. I definitely want to get back into reading classics. I think I've taken a good year break, maybe longer, of reading classics. I think 2 years ago I was reading a lot more classics, but I would love to get back into it. I really do enjoy classics. It's just something I don't know, I keep telling myself I have to be in the mood for it, and then when I start reading them I really enjoy them. But we're going to be getting back into those. I think I need to sit down and write some goals out for next year. So I think probably reading classics and rereading books are the two goals I would really like to hit, and also finishing out maybe a couple series. You'll have to let me know actually, do you do goal setting for the years when it comes to your reading and stuff? Generally speaking, I don't. I tend just to have a yearly TBR that I never reach anyway. But I think a couple of goals would be nice, because then I can feel quite accomplished if I hit them. Potentially. Thank you so much, Denise, for these. These are absolutely beautiful. Would recommend all three of these classics if you haven't read them. They're just a lot of fun, really good books, gorgeous writing, as you would expect from a classic author. And yeah, I love these so much. Thank you. Genuinely thank you. I really, really appreciate that. But right now, I need to get on, do a couple of things, water my plant, and check the train time so I can go pick up my cat. Oh, I've missed her so much. I'm really excited to have her back home. And then, yeah, just editing. It is going to be a long editing day. I've got lots and lots of b-roll to go through, so we'll see. Sometimes it ends up being a lot quicker than what I think it's going to, but I think just because of the sheer amount I have to go through for this last weekly vlog. Right, stop procrastinating, let's get on with it. And I will catch up with you when I have started my reread of Master of Sorrows, and we'll go from there. So I hope you're all doing really, really well. Let me know what you've been up to, what you've been reading. Are you a rereader? Do you enjoy rereading books? I really do love it, but I've definitely dropped the ball on my rereads since starting YouTube. That's something that I really noticed. Okay, we're just going to do a slight tangent here, why not? But yeah, rereading books, I just noticed that I used to reread a lot. So my book collection used to be very, very small. It was about probably 50 books at most, and I would constantly reread those books, and buying a new book was a really big thing for me. It would generally be authors I've already read from, or continuing a series that I've started, and that was kind of it. Whereas now, since starting YouTube, obviously I have a massive book collection, which I'm so happy with. Just fulfills young Kirsten's dream of owning my own library. But it does mean that because I constantly have so many new books I want to read, that I find rereading is kind of lower on the list now. But I do enjoy rereading books. I personally think when you reread a book, you can get a lot more out of it. I love doing that. It's definitely something I want to improve on. I definitely want to, because otherwise what's the point in keeping books that I read for rereading them if I never actually reread them? Definitely something I want to work on. But right, okay, that was an unnecessary tangent. You're probably going to get a lot of those. You're used to this if you've been here before. If you're not, buckle in. There's a lot of tangents, rambling, waffling that goes on this channel. But okay, I am going to go now. I've got lots of things to do. Catch up with you soon. really productive day yesterday. It was really good. I picked up my cat Hermione. I got the editing done for last week's vlog, managed to do it in the one day, and it was so much fun going through all the footage of all the different moments that we had filmed and stuff, and it was just great. It was like reliving it all, and I loved it. So I'm really happy with how that video turned out and all the B-roll moments. It was lovely. So really like that. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And I did start my reread. So I did read the first 114 pages. So I'm up to chapter 15, page 114. And I was right in that I'm preferring this upon reread so far, and that I'm remembering things as I'm reading this, which I'm really enjoying. So we are following Nymph, and Nymph is known as a son of Chaos. So at the very start of this, you kind of get like a prologue that looks at three kind of gods and goddesses, and they're exchanging gifts for one another, and Chaos gets very angry that his brother and sister didn't put as much effort into their gift for him as he has done for them, which sets off this path of him going away from his siblings and down a path of anger and hatred. As a result, further in the future, I would say modern times for the book, it's more based on like medieval setting, I would say. But they have this rule that magic is outlawed, that magical objects and then their owners, you know, the owners need to be punished and the magical objects need to be taken away. Even seemingly helpful ones such as rods of healing, they could be used for nefarious means, and so they must take everything away. And also people who are born with a missing hand are known as the sons of Chaos, and as a result are killed, and the parents are also killed for being vessels of Chaos, which Chaos is the god of anger and hatred and stuff according to their law. Nymph is one of those people. He was born missing a hand, but Sodor, the mage that is bringing up Nymph, helps hide his missing hand. Also teaches him about magic and how, yes, magic can be used for bad, but it can also be used for good, and it's all about how you wield the magic. And so Nymph's in this really interesting position because he's wanting to become an avatar, somebody that goes out to different towns, cities and things to bring back magical objects to be stored in this chamber, at the same time questioning what is being taught about how bad magic is and people, how their superstitions are towards anyone that is not seen as perfect. So for example, we have a blacksmith that's missing an eye, and he is met with a lot of suspicion and derision by everybody else in this village town because of his missing eye. So there's a lot of like interesting judgments to people, and then how Nymph feels in this really weird position because he knows magic users aren't all bad, because Soda is not bad, and how just because you're missing a limb or you're deformed in some way according to everybody else, that doesn't make you a bad person or an agent of chaos. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We are meeting the fact that Nymph has his two friends. They're going through these different trials. The next day is the last trial to see whether you can become an avatar or if you're going to end up as a steward. A steward cannot have children, they cannot leave this village that they're in. There's a lot of restrictions and stuff, and being an avatar means you can get married, you can go off to these other towns, you can experience the world and do all of these things. And Nymph is desperate to become an avatar, especially because he wants to marry this particular girl. It's just really good. I'm really liking it. It's very kind of, feels kind of classic in a way, classic fantasy, where we have the main character who's kind of the chosen one in a way, but we don't fully know what way, and all the other things that go with that. I'm really enjoying it. It's really good. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to continuing on. Hopefully we'll still could be able to continue on with reading the 100 odd pages a day. We'll see, because today I'm actually out. Me and my partner are going to see the new Beetlejuice film, which I'm very looking forward to. So yeah, we'll see whether I can still get that 100 page read, because I still have another video I'd like to edit a little bit of. But I mean, it's not, I think it's only just gone 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, not quite 8 o'clock in the morning yet. So, and the film isn't till like 2 something. So plenty of time to be able to do some editing and also reading, so fingers crossed we'll get that done. Now, I said to you I was only going to be reading the one book this week, and I've already well, changed that because I've actually started an ebook, and this one is the Discord book club pick for the month, which is The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. I've only read a little bit of this. I was reading it while I was going to collect Hermione, so I've read the first 5 chapters. I'm up to chapter 6, page 50, and so far I'm really liking it. Also the Discord, I'm enjoying this book because the Discord is so active with lots of people talking about different parts of the book, different things that are happening, and so I'm really enjoying that. It's been really fun. So in these first 5 chapters, it's kind of an interesting setup because we have this almost like omnipresent being that can see into all the characters on this island. So we're at it's an island at the end of the world. There is this fog that encapsulates everything apart from this island, and if you touch this fog you get ripped apart. Everything gets ripped apart. So we are at the end of the world, and I think there are like maybe around just over 200 people left in the world that are all on this island. But there is this being that is able to communicate directly with every single person on this island, is able to read their thoughts, is able to communicate directly mind to mind with everyone, which is really interesting. So you kind of get this omnipresent overview of everything that's going on, but then you get a more focused overview of individual characters on this island. So there's a lot of different perspectives that are going on. And to give a brief overview, on this island we have 3 elders, and these are 3 people that were at the start, the very first people that came to this island, and they are very old. They're like over 100 and something years old. They're very knowledgeable, except they keep that knowledge to themselves. They aren't sharing the knowledge with everybody on the island, only specific people. And what's weird about this island is that when you turn 60 you die. Doesn't matter whether you were ill or not, you could be completely healthy, but on your 60th birthday you will die. Now, a lot of people don't even make it to the age of 60 because there's lots of different things that end up killing people off in different ways. We're following, I think for me, the kind of couple main characters is one of the elders, who is also the teacher on this island, and we first see her grappling with this experiment that she's trying to put in place that hasn't worked yet, and now she's gonna have to do something she really doesn't want to do but will hopefully have really good consequences, but it seems like it's going to be really dodgy. And then we have another character, Emery. Emery is someone that feels very different from everybody else on this island. So the way it works is everybody on this island has a job they have to do, so something to fulfill, something to give back to this island, to be a productive member of that society. However, Emery has not found her niche, she has not found her calling along in this island, and so she feels very out of sorts. She's tried her hand at lots and lots of different things but just cannot find something that works for her, and as a result she's kind of on the outside a little bit. She's estranged with her father. There's like just little things that she's kind of on the outside of, and I feel like she's going to be part of the main person involved with the events that are going to come. So yeah, it's a bit unusual. It's kind of like a sci-fi dystopian mystery, which I'm really enjoying. I like the blend there, and I also enjoy just how unusual this is so far. So I'm intrigued to see where this is going to go, and learning more about all the different characters that we get is kind of a bit overwhelming, but the chapters are really short, so that really helped. And even though it feels like, oh my god, there's so many characters, there's so much to learn, it's also really intriguing. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm very just curious to see where this is all going to go and what's going to develop. So I'll probably read a little bit more like when I'm out and about and doing things. Oddly, I'm not minding that I'm reading this on my phone. So the last few ebooks that I've tried reading on my phone, because I have this through the Libby app, I've not been getting on with. I've been really struggling reading. But this one, maybe it's just because of how short the chapters are. It feels really like bite-sized, easy to read chapters, though I'm not minding this particular ebook on my phone. So yeah, we'll see. I don't think I'm going to get this read all in this video. I think this is going to actually go on to next week, which I kind of don't want, because next week is the themed reading vlog, which is the Light Academia vlog, but I already have 2 books to read for that, so I might just be like mentioning it every so often when I read some more of this, because I'm not going to be able to get this finished this week, not when my main goal is to actually read Master of Sorrows. I really want to get this one finished. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I will get some more of The Last Murder at the End of the World, but we'll see how it goes. Honestly, I'm enjoying both books and I'm liking how different they both are, how I've got something that feels a lot more classic fantasy to then pair with this sci-fi dystopian mystery. It seems to be working really well. But just before I go, I have some more, well, I have a couple of books to haul with you. So if you watched the vlog before I went on holiday, you would know that I got the new cover of Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I really love this cover that's come out. They're doing these new editions because of the 4th book that is coming out later this year. It's the 10th anniversary edition. So I decided, you know what, I'm really enjoying it. I was reading the 2nd book on Libby, was struggling because it was an ebook, and was like, you know what, I know I want to buy all of the books that are out currently, and I know I want to buy that 4th book. Whether I buy it straight away or not, I don't know, because it's coming out in hardback. If it's one of the shorter hardbacks, I'll probably just get it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I'm not sure. But I went to my local bookstore to pick up Annihilation and then ordered in the other 2 and was told the 3rd one, yes, will be in straight away, that's no problem, but the 2nd one, that one is out of stock at the publisher. I was going on holiday, so I said, okay, I'll just check back in when I'm back, and they actually had both. So I went to pick them up yesterday with Hermione in my bag. I've got this, probably seen them around, but like the backpack cat carriers, I've got one of those because it's so much easier to carry her. She is a little bit of a chunker. But yeah, so I had her on my back. She was very chill. She was not complaining about being in there. So I thought, actually, bookshop is like literally a few doors down from where I live. So I was like, let's quickly pop in there to collect the 3rd book. But they actually had both, which I'm really pleased with. So the 2nd one is Authority. Loving this. I love the fact it's got the rabbit. That actually worked really well with what's happening in this book. This is what I love about these covers, is they really do match what is happening in Area X. This is another sci-fi dystopian book and I'm enjoying it. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is pick this one up physically. I might do this next month because I was really enjoying the ebook of this, but I was struggling because I was reading it on my phone. So I'm really pleased I've got that. So I'll probably just reread what I've read and then continue on because I really want to finish out this series this year. And then I've got Acceptance, which is the 3rd book, which was the last book. This is originally the Southern Reach trilogy, but then has since become a quadruple 4-book series. I'm really, really excited. So I definitely want to get these done. Honestly, sci-fi this year has been an unexpected genre that I'm really enjoying. I have a couple of sci-fi books I want to read in October actually, so we'll see how many of those I can get done. Yeah, I just wanted to show off these because I think they're awesome. I love the holographic foiling on it and just how unusual they are. But okay, that is everything. Yet another rambly update, but it is time for me to get on. I need to start editing the video, which is the Cozy New Releases vlog. Really enjoyed that, so I need to finish editing that, hopefully read a little, and then head off to the cinema. So let's get on and do all of that. Decor that I've been DIYing this morning. However, I have run out of the red leaves. So this was just a fun little project because I'd forgotten that I had these fake autumn leaves, and I thought, you know what, I always really like those autumn leaf garlands that you can get, except they're so expensive normally. So I was just like, there must be a way for me to do it cheaper. So I found these and I had some like string, so I thought, why not just try and make it myself? And it's been really fun to do. It honestly didn't take as long as I thought. However, I've only got 2 of these red ones left, so I need to go out and buy some more of these leaves. In all honesty, I probably should have used less red leaves on this one. I should have actually separated the leaves into piles to see how many of each colour I had. However, this was the test one and I really liked all the red in it, except I then realised I ran out of the red, and so we changed up the colour scheme a bit. But I kind of like it because it feels a bit more fun not having it completely matched. But I would really like to finish off doing around the top of this bookshelf, like going across here and around the corner, and then potentially also not this shelf but the one below, and doing that the whole way round, so that way wherever I sit or stand in my updates and videos and stuff, you'll get this autumn background. I just think it'd be really nice, and I think it goes really well with the back. I also want to get some more pumpkins because I've only got these 2 and I have a lot of shelves, so it would be nice to get probably like another 4 dotted around. So we're gonna have to go out. Honestly, I'm on an early shift tomorrow at work, so what I might do after work is go and get some more of these and also have a look and see what pumpkins I can find. I know TK Maxx had loads of them, so I might go into there after work, depending on how tired I am, and just see how that all goes, because I'm really, really liking it. And maybe we'll finish out the video once I've actually got all the stuff and all the autumn decor is up. I feel like that would be really fun. A very impromptu addition to like autumn decoration, but I really wanted to, and obviously I was away at the very start of the month, so it's quite nice to have it finally in. And let's face it, this is going to stay up till December and then it'll be swapped out for the Christmas ones, so it will be nice and lovely. I think I'm really looking forward to it, and honestly probably what's going to happen going forward is in the middle of August this sort of stuff will go up because I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Anyway, I also have a question for you all, because I do not let my hair dry naturally. This is the first time. I randomly thought last night, you know what, I should probably try just having my natural curls, because I have really, really curly hair, but I never do anything with it because I just don't know how to look after it. It's always gone really frizzy and difficult, and I just never really know what to do with it. So I was looking around on a few YouTube videos and found a couple things, but if anyone has any tips on how to look after really long curly hair, please let me know. I had a shower this morning and I've been letting it air dry, and I put in a bunch of conditioner to try and make it so it doesn't go frizzy. We'll see how it looks. This is almost 5 minutes of rambling about autumn decor and hair. Let's actually get into the book. So I did start my morning off with reading just 2 chapters while I was having my breakfast, and it was really nice to do, especially now it's colder as well. I can have my candles on and it's just, oh, I love it. Anyway, I am up to chapter 54, page 405, and I am really enjoying this book. I've only got, I think it's 170 pages left. Yeah, 170 pages left to go, so I would love to finish this today. I'm really enjoying my reread of this. I think if you've read a lot of high fantasy, you can see how this probably, especially this first book, it's not doing anything new as of yet, but I'm really intrigued to see how it's going to progress. And I remember thinking at the end of this book, oh, I wonder what's going to happen there. I'm really intrigued, and I'm starting to remember what it was that caused that feeling. But this initial book, it is a bit slow, but it does a lot of good setup with the lore of the world, the gods, the goddesses, the myth around it all, why this village is the way it is towards people that aren't seen as perfect. So like if you've got scars, if you've got missing limbs, etc., you're seen as lesser. The reason why they are the way they are towards magic and things. So it's very interesting to see, but then obviously seeing Enev's difficulties in that because he is in that weird position, and also the way the academy teaches you to be. So like it teaches all of these boys to only look out for themselves, don't work as a team, use one another to progress your own goals, like there is no friendship, no loyalty. And how Enev, because he's had teachings from Sodor the mage and also priest, he questions that and he's like, but surely we should work together as a team, we would get better results. Surely loyalty shouldn't be just to the academy but to one another as well, and all these different things. Like, he does question a lot of it, which causes him a lot of problems, but I really like it. I like the magic in here, I like the way it's getting explored, the way we're slowly learning things. I like seeing Nympph's frustrations and the fact that, you know, he's got this life that he wants for himself, but this is the life that maybe he should go for instead, and that kind of conflicted feeling, because he is only a teenager, and you do feel that in this book. And it's quite nice because as much as he's like a chosen one, sort of, he's not perfect. He is constantly making mistakes and messing up and things, so I really like that as well. So I don't know, I'm just really enjoying this reread. I think it's a good book. I do think it's a bit underrated, but I can also understand why, because if you compare it to other things, like I say, it doesn't feel like anything new, but I really like the writing style. It's quite easy to read because we've only got the one perspective, so I feel like this is a really nice introduction book to high fantasy because it's got all of the elements of it, but it's just that little bit easier to read in my opinion. So I don't know, I think it's worth a try. I'm really looking forward to the ending of this book because I'm starting to remember what happened, and then I would be very interested in attempting to get to Master Artificer this year. But look how chunky this is. I think if not this year, then definitely in winter time, so like January, February time would be really nice to get this done, because I just feel like autumn, winter is a really nice time for fantasy. I think that's what I'm starting to realize about myself, is I am actually quite a strong seasonal reader, and so I find certain times of the year I prefer reading certain things, and I've really enjoyed reading this now that it's colder. Don't know what it is about it, but it's just really working for me. So yeah, I would really like to get to this, but this is a chunky boy. This one is just under 900 pages long. Ooh, that's cool. But yeah, so I would really like, I mean, I do recommend this. This has been a really fun reread, and I'm really pleased I've reread it for this because there is no way I'd remembered half of what happened in here. But yeah, so this is really good. I haven't read much more of The Last Murder at the End of the World. I think I've read like an extra 2 or 3 chapters, nothing major. I'm still really intrigued. I'm really curious as to the way this world is working, especially because that omnipresent being seems to control their bodies as well, because like by 10 o'clock everyone's asleep. It doesn't matter where you are, even if you're not in bed at that time, bam, your body closes down and you go to sleep. And then at 6 a.m. he literally says, I wake them all back up. And sometimes they're not rested because things happen to their bodies in the night and they don't know what or why, but nobody questions it. It's like this really weird utopia where everyone's really happy and nobody questions things apart from one character, Emery, and she's like, but why are things like this? And it seems really sinister, like there's a sinister undertone to it. So I'm really enjoying this book. I would love to read a bit more of it. But again, like I said, I probably am going to be reading that more next week, back at work and stuff, because for my Light Academia vlog, I don't actually have an ebook to read. We'll see how it goes, because I do want to focus mainly on the Light Academia stuff, but we'll see. And then lastly, I do have a little bit more book mail. So I have The Hound of the Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle, and this was again gifted to me by Denise. Thank you so much. This one was kind of waylaid. Apparently it said it had arrived at the same time as the others, but it didn't arrive until a few days later. But we have it. I love this. This is my favorite Sherlock Holmes book. I absolutely adore it. And again, I really wanted it in this edition to match my other Sherlock Holmes books. So again, very, very grateful for Denise for getting me this and continuing on my gorgeous collection. And of course, I got Richard Osman's newest book, We Solve Murders. I'm going to be starting this very, very soon, but for a very specific video. Really excited to read this one. I genuinely can't wait. So yeah, very, very excited. I love the end pages on this. There's nothing too fancy about it, but I don't mind. It's beautiful. I've got all the rest of Richard Osman's books in hardback, so I knew that I wanted to keep continuing to collect his books in hardback, and I'm just so excited for this one. This is going to be another murder mystery, but instead of following our murder mystery club at the retirement home, instead we're following a father and daughter-in-law in a crime-fighting duo, and it sounds like it's going to be really fun. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to reading this one. And I think that's everything. Oh no, wait, we went to see Beetlejuice. It was okay. It was kind of funny, and it had kind of like Tim Burton's signature stuff going on with it. However, it wasn't as good as the first movie. That's kind of obvious though. I always find that with these sort of like continuations, spin-offs type things. The plot was a mess. Like, it genuinely was an absolute mess. And both me and my partner just said like it would have been nice if they had just focused on one thing, but it felt like it had elements of lots of different plot lines, and as a result nothing got focused on. So it wasn't our favourite, but the cinema, loved it. It's the first time we went to that cinema. It's called Everyman Cinema, and oh, it was great. There was like sofas and everything, and definitely we said it was probably the best cinema experience just in terms of like comfort and how the cinema was. Just a shame about the film, but we definitely said we would go back there if we were going to be going out to watch a film and stuff together. We would go there because it was just really good. And I think that's everything. That's literally all the updates. So I'm going to hopefully try and finish Master of Sorrows today, and we'll just see what the day brings. I was going to edit, but honestly, I've edited every day since I've been back off holiday, and I've finished editing 3 videos. So I might just give myself a break because the only thing I've got left to edit is this vlog, and I have like 5 days before it even needs to go up. So I'm not worried about it, so I might just give myself today off the editing and just relax, because I'd also like to play some Animal Crossing. I've been changing up my island to a more like autumn spooky theme. I'm really enjoying it. It's been a lot of work to change it over. I started it during my holiday, but since I've been back I haven't picked it up, and I really want to. So yeah, there's just lots of things I want to do today. We'll see how much I actually get done. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Every single update for this video has been about 15 minutes long. I'm hoping editing me will just condense that. Next update will be probably finishing off the autumn decor and have finished the book. That is the plan. Let's see if that actually happens. Master of Sorrows, and I really enjoyed my reread of this book. It was so good, and the ending, the epilogue, was just so juicy. Like, I'm so excited to see how that's going to progress into the second book. I'm really pleased with this. I was towards the end, as I was reading it, it was kind of giving me similar-ish vibes to John Gwyn's series, the Faithful and Fallen series, starting with Malice, because both books are classic kind of fantasy. They both have different elemental creatures in them, and they both have this character who may or may not end up being the villain of the story, and that's kind of what you're not sure what's happening there. You've also got this kind of slow build up, but there are big differences between these books. It's just something that as I was reading it, I kind of was like, oh, actually, this is kind of giving me those vibes. It's not a straight thing that I think if you like one, you're going to love the other one. Like, I don't think it's going to work that well. It's more probably just because this is good classic fantasy with good world building, and I really like John Gwyn's Faithful and Fallen series, so that is one that I think is really good, and I just enjoy it. Again, for a classic fantasy, that series is really good. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed the characters. I loved seeing everything again, getting to know them all again, and really learning about this world and its views, and how some of those extreme views really are just kept to this small little village, and how it being so cut off from the rest of the world has kept it so behind. And just some of the revelations and stuff that go with this I think was really good. It's a really nice setup book, but it is a slower paced book. I will give it that. It does get very action paced, very full on towards the end of the book, but it is a slow build up. And you do have trials and things in here, which I really enjoyed. It's also a fantasy book that makes me feel like Nymph is his age, because in some fantasy books you'll get these books where they're like teenagers but they feel really old for their age and really emotionally mature. Nymph isn't, and I really like that. I felt like he was a very believable character for his age, where he's trying to be older than what he is, but he's making mistakes and he's very emotional, and I don't know, I think it really worked. So yeah, Very, very pleased with this reread. It is one that I preferred on reread. I also am not sure whether it was just at the time that I was reading so much fantasy that this book wasn't feeling like it was doing anything completely new, and you know, it doesn't really, but I also really like what it has done, and I'm learning to that certain types of fantasy not to overwhelm myself so much with. It's definitely been something I've had to learn, but it's nice to read and find that yes, I can still really enjoy a good fantasy book, especially because I did hit that slump where I didn't want anything to do with the genre unless it was like light, cozy, fluffy stuff. But this was good. I really enjoyed it. I know I've said that many times, but would recommend giving this one a try, especially if you do like high fantasy, epic fantasy, or you're just getting into the genre. This is a good one for it, but like I say, it is a little bit slower paced, so just bear that in mind. And then today at work, I had a really nice relaxing day, so that meant that I was able to get a decent bit of The Last Murder at the End of the World read, because that was so good. Oh my god, I'm enjoying this so much. So I think I'm up to chapter 33 or 34. Oh, 35. Chapter 35, page 240. So I am just under halfway through this book and I'm really enjoying it. It was really funny. So at chapter 14, I had this theory and I put it into Discord and I'm like, I wonder if that is going on. Like, it's really weird and unusual. And then chapter 32 happens, which has been the chapter that everyone's been like, oh my god, in the Discord chat, which has been great. Honestly, I was right in my assumption that this book is really good for discussing things, because this has probably been the most active the Discord chat has been about discussing things to do with the book and having different like ideas and thoughts and stuff about it, which has been lovely. Honestly, I've really enjoyed it. But I got to that chapter. It was a chapter I was really looking forward to getting to because of how many people put in about that, oh my god, that reveal. I'd guessed it. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't guess all the ins and outs of it, but I did guess a significant thing of it, and I was just shocked. I was so surprised that I actually guessed that. And it's a really good reveal. I really enjoyed it. I'm really excited to see where it's going to go, and it's really starting to get into the murder mystery side of things, which I am of course loving. I'm actually really enjoying this book so far. So yeah, I'm really pleasantly surprised as well, because I wasn't sure how much I was going to like this book, but actually it's turning out really good, really fun, and just yeah. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. This one I'm going to continue reading into next week, but it's good. It's really, really good. I'm really excited to see just where everything's going to go, as I've said, but I'm just so curious about it. And because of the chapters, like they're so quick and easy that you can just fly through this book so well. I do think if it carries on this way, then I am definitely going to be getting a physical copy of this book, because it is really good. I'm enjoying it so far. So I mean, I'll see, because a lot of people said how they did really like this one, and then towards the end they were a bit let down. So it'll be interesting to see what I think of the ending, but so far I'm loving all the different elements. I'm loving this apocalyptic type setting. I'm loving the unease of it all, the mystery side of it all, the feeling like things aren't quite right. I'm really enjoying all of that. So yeah, it's a really good book. I'm enjoying that. But before I go, I just wanted to talk about, well, one, I didn't do any more fall decorating, and I didn't actually go shopping for it today after work. I was just too tired. First day back after some time off, yeah, too tired. So we'll do that eventually at some point. Although yesterday I did meet my partner and we popped into, there's like a Next with a Costa coffee in it. We popped in there to get a hot drink and they had this. It's a little goose in a pumpkin. Of course I had to get it. It is absolutely adorable. So I'm very happy with my little pumpkin goose. And that brings us to the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching. I am so pleased that I got my reread done. Like, I'm very, very happy with that. That puts me right on track for the rest of my TBR, which is perfect. And I'm really enjoying that Discord book. Honestly, good week. Very pleased with it. I hope you've enjoyed. I know this was, I would say this is a slightly shorter video, but I'm pretty sure I've rambled enough that it's filled up quite a bit of time. So yeah, this was just a nice chill few days for me, really. Just getting things done, getting myself ready for back to work, and just enjoyed it. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know what you have been up to, and if you have read The Last Murder at the End of the World. What did you think of it? I'm very intrigued. I think it's really good so far. So with that being said though, we are going to leave it there. So thank you so much for watching. I know I say it every single time, but genuinely thank you so much for taking the time to watch these videos, to interact and everything. Like, it genuinely means so much. So if you have made it this far, or you just want to let me know that you are here, then you can leave a blue emoji. Let's just go for a blue emoji. Why not? If you've made it this far, or you just don't know what to comment, but we're gonna leave it there, as I've said. So if you have enjoyed this video, then please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing, commenting. Those 3 things really help this channel out. My social media links and anyone I've mentioned will be linked below for you, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.